Shanquella Robinson was a graduate of Winston State University. She ran a beauty and hair braiding business called Exquisite Kids in her hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina. She traveled to the resort town of San Jose del Cabo, Mexico, with 6 university friends for a fun vacation stay in a luxury hotel on October 28th. Within 24 hours of their arrival, Shanquella would end up dead. In a clip thought to have been shot the day of their arrival, Shanquella seems to appear to be in good spirits as she jokes that her friends are taking too long to get ready. She's quoted saying, "It don't take that long to get naked. Where y'all at?" She says while she's walking around the villa asking which bathing suits the others are going to wear. In this particular video, a lot of people could say that they felt like they were plotting, essentially, because she was searching for them in this villa, and then finally when she finds them, people are speculating that they kind of stop talking or their demeanor gets different when she walks in because they know that she's recording. According to the police report, a medic from the nearby American Medical Center arrived at the Villa Resort at 3:15 p.m. on October 29th. And medical callouts are actually relatively common when it comes to U.S. tourists in Mexico. The doctor was told that Shanquella had consumed a lot of alcohol and required an IV drip. The medic states that Shanquella appeared to be intoxicated and was not able to communicate verbally. She recommended that the patient be transferred to a hospital immediately, but it was said that her friends were adamant that she remained in the resort. At 20 p.m., the police document states that Shanquella started having seizures, and the doctor noted that Shanquella was struggling to breathe and her pulse had lowered. At this time, Winter Donovan, one of the quote-unquote friends from the traveling party, called 911. The number that was used to call 911 has now been disconnected. Around a half an hour later at 4:49 p.m., the doctor began administering CPR after detecting that Shanquella no longer had a pulse. All in all, Shanquella was given 14 rounds of CPR, 5 doses of adrenaline, and 6 shots with a defibrillator. Shanquella was pronounced dead at 5:57 p.m., with the cause of death being listed as cardiopulmonary arrest. Shanquella's mom, Salamandra, said that she had spoken to her daughter that Friday night before she was getting ready for dinner, not knowing that it would ultimately be their last conversation. Shanquella had said, "Well, Mother, I'm getting ready to eat," and Salamandra replied saying, "Well, okay, enjoy yourself, have a good time, I love you, and we'll talk tomorrow." A male friend of Shanquella's calling her and telling her that Shanquella was sick, but then things took a grim turn and she had died from alcohol poisoning. He wasn't even emotional, upset, or nothing about it. "My heart just crumbled because I couldn't even get to my child," she said. I did not believe them because actually before they got back to Charlotte, I do not know when they arrived, but someone had already called us and said that someone was fighting her over there, Salamandra Robinson said. When her daughter's so-called friends returned to Charlotte, North Carolina, they paid her a visit. This is when she confronted them about the fight. They were crying and they said that they never had a fight. They even sat here and said what they were picking out and wearing to the funeral. Each one of them gave a different statement. After the autopsy came out, Salamandra decided to speak with the male friend again, probing for answers. She says that he broke out in a sweat and he came out of his shirt. He was sweating badly. It's like it was eating him up. On November 15th, horrifying footage emerged online of a naked Shanquella being brutally beaten in a resort hotel room. In the roughly 20-second long clip, a female aggressor approaches Shanquella and knocks her to the ground before delivering a fury of brutal punches and kicks. A prone Shanquella slumps defenseless to the floor in response. Although her attacker is fully clothed, Shanquella is inexplicably naked. A man seemingly filming the attack taunts Shanquella while doing nothing to intervene. "At least fight back or something," he can be heard saying. Shanquella's father, Bernard Robinson, verified it was his daughter in the footage and said he believes that the attack was premeditated by the people she thought were her friends. "My daughter's not a fighter, man. She's not a fighter. Not at all," he said. Death certificate, which is from the autopsy, states that the official cause of death was a severe spinal cord injury and the atlas luxation. And the box for the information about whether the death was an accident or violent, the form simply just says yes. The certificate says that she was found in a living room. The document does not dive into more details about what happened leading up to her death, but states that she died within 15 minutes of the onset of fatal injuries. And in the box that asks whether medical attention was provided before the death, the document says unknown. The certificate says that she died at 3 p.m. on October 29th. Police report does not assign a cause of death, but states that the reason 911 was called was due to a deceased person. In the police report, the doctor states Robinson had a stable vital signs, but was dehydrated, unable to communicate verbally, and appearing to be inebriated. While the police account relied heavily on the doctor from the American Medical Center in Cabo, it left out mention of the obvious physical injuries. The police report says that the doctor discovered no pulse for Robinson around 4:49 p.m. on October 29th, and after a long stretch of CPR, pronounced Robinson dead at 5:57 p.m. Both police records show Robinson received medical treatment for nearly 3 hours from doctors and paramedics before she was pronounced dead. Neither record states unequivocally that Robinson was drunk or had alcohol poisoning. There is also no official record yet released that has shown authorities deemed alcohol to be the leading cause of Robinson's death. Shanquella was laid to rest on November 19, 2002. Allegedly, there is a second unreleased video where Winter Donovan wrapped her arms around Shanquella's neck and slammed her to the ground. It is stated that Shanquella does not move anymore following Donovan's attack. A reporter from WBTV named Brandon Hamilton got a tip from one of Alyssa's co-workers. This person told him what time she would be getting off, and when she was making her way to the car, he approached her and asked her what happened to Shanquella. Alyssa simply remained silent, got into her car, closed the door, and drove away. Nazir took the live and stated that he left on Saturday, October 29th, and the trip was from Friday to Monday. He remembered getting off the flight at around 2:16 p.m. and making a phone call to one of the group members to find out the address. This is when he was first allegedly informed about Robinson's condition. They told me Quilla was sick and she was showing signs of alcohol poisoning, he said, claiming that he got to the villa around 3:26 p.m. and rushed to her side where he remained until the nurse came. The man said he was unaware that any fight had transpired, claiming that he thought it was going to be a good vacation to Mexico to continue his birthday celebrations before it took a terrible turn. I don't know nothing of it, he said. Don't know nothing about it. Don't know why it happened. He says he was invited on the trip in June, indicating that it was a planned getaway that simply turned deadly. Shanquella's mother stated that she believes that her daughter met Jackson in college. Both women attended Winston-Salem University, according to their social media profiles. Dejanay Jackson is the alleged woman beating Robinson in the viral video. Lil Cook reportedly is Robinson's best friend of 5 years, and Shanquella's mom states that Cook and her daughter were so close that he would even go with them on family trips and would often visit their home. He called Salamandra on October 29th, alerting her that her daughter grew ill because of alcohol poisoning. According to reports, he also brought back Shanquella's luggage from Mexico to their house. I never thought he'd be so low to ever do my child like that, Salamandra said. Cook was at the family side after Shanquella's death, up until the autopsy revealed that she had a broken neck and spine, Salamandra said. I haven't heard from him since. Malik Dreyer is the alleged voice in the back of the video telling Shanquella to fight back. After viewing the footage of the sickening assault on her daughter, Shanquella's mother stated that she was perplexed when none of the so-called friends had intervened. She was not fighting nobody back. She did not even have a chance, she said. Salamandra also claimed that the friend stole 10 grand from her daughter. The people that she was with, I knew one of them very well, and I thought he was her friend and that he would look out for her, she added, but unfortunately, that was not what it was. Shanquella was a wonderful daughter, loving daughter, and we really are gonna miss her, she said. Anything positive, that's exactly who she was. The family initially struggled to convince authorities that Shanquella's death merited further investigation. On a GoFundMe page set up to help the family's legal costs, Shanquella's sister Quilla Long says that the U.S. State Department told them there was, quote-unquote, no clear evidence of foul play. Long writes that this statement was unacceptable and we are beyond devastated and we continue to fight for the truth. Salamandra credited Black social media users with bringing attention to the case after mainstream news outlets and authorities had shown little interest early on. She's quoted saying, "I appreciate the ones working hard to get justice done. We are not done yet, but we are going to get there." Hundreds of online people have now poured over the digital footprints of the Cabo Six, searching for clues to what led to the assault on Shanquella in Mexico. Some have deleted their social media accounts, some have gone private, and most of them have denied any form of interview or any questioning. Pressure is also being placed on officials in Mexico to answer why Shanquella's friends were allowed to leave the country after the sudden death of their traveling companion. No arrests have been made, Long told reporters. Long suggested that she had been advised against divulging too many details into the investigation, but insisted, quote-unquote, they are working on it. As far as the penalty goes for her sister's death, Long was clear. Everybody being arrested and doing time in Mexico, everybody being extradited over there and doing their time there. That would be justice for us as of now. Mexican authorities said that they identified at least one alleged suspect and issued an arrest warrant to have an unnamed quote-unquote friend of Shanquella extradited and be charged criminally. The arrest warrant explicitly said Robinson was a victim of femicide. So femicide is murder based off of gender, and so in this case, it is the killing of a woman based on the fact that she is a woman. This case is fully clarified. We even have a court order. There is an arrest warrant issued for the crime of femicide to the deterrent of the victim and against an alleged perpetrator, a friend of hers who was the direct aggressor. Mexican prosecutor Daniel de la Rosa Anya reportedly said, "Actually, it wasn't a quarrel, but instead a direct aggression. We are carrying out the pertinent procedures such as Interpol alert and the request for extradition to the United States of America. It's about two Americans, the victim and the culprit." Allegedly, Dejanay Jackson, one of the friends who accompanied Robinson to Mexico, was taken into custody. The report claimed Jackson was arrested on the night of November 28th by Interpol agents and placed in federal custody while waiting the beginning of her extradition process to Mexico. There is a legal precedent for a U.S. citizen to be extradited to Mexico to answer for criminal charges. The extradition treaty between the United States and Mexico dates back 45 years and was ratified in 1998 by President Bill Clinton, who said it was meant to, quote-unquote, enhance cooperation between law enforcement communities of both countries. Hopefully, sooner than later, everybody that was responsible for this crime is held accountable for taking Shanquella Robinson's life way too early and in such a brutal fashion. So there are more theories out there about what happened. Personally, I did not put them in this video simply because I could not find them on an actual website. Everything was really through TikTok, and I'm not saying TikTok is not a source, but I couldn't trust it, so I didn't include it. So there's like an alleged live of Winter, and then there's alleged stories that Dejanay has put on, but again, I cannot confirm that. The only reason why I put Nazir's live is because there's actual video of his live, like him physically in person, physically talking about the situation, whereas Winter's supposed live is just an audio. So I didn't really know how I felt about putting it in the video. So if you want to, you can go look it up. It's on TikTok. It's all over TikTok. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I do upload weekly. Yes, this video is late. I switched editing software, so it took me a little bit longer to get a hang of it and figure it out. But until next time, Earthlings, be safe.